Listen, it was a great night for the crypto industry, right? And if you listen to your last guest, Donald Trump, that keeps his promises. If you go back to the speech he made at Nashville to the crypto community, his agenda is very pro-crypto. J.D. Vance is pro-crypto, Peter Thiel, Howard Lutnick, Kennedy. He surrounded himself by people that believe in the industry, care about the industry. I mean, the crypto community showed up, right? There are now over 240 congressmen who, the crypto pack thought were pro-crypto. And so we've got a Congress that is moving our way. We've got a president that's moving our way. And so for Galaxy, for the crypto industry, I couldn't be more optimistic.
Galaxy Digital CEO Michael Novogratz is celebrating the outcome of the recent U.S. presidential election, which will see President-elect Donald Trump assume office as the 47th President of the United States in January. Novogratz's positive outlook on the election results resonates with many in the cryptocurrency community, who are hailing Trump as America's first pro-crypto president. Prominent figures in the industry, such as ARK Invest founder and CEO Cathie Wood, share this optimism. Wood predicts that the U.S. economy will experience accelerated growth and innovation under Trump's leadership. She specifically highlights the potential for disruptive technologies like blockchain, artificial intelligence, energy storage, and robotics to flourish. Drawing comparisons to the Industrial Revolution, she forecasts an even more transformative and profitable era ahead. In a recent interview with CNBC, Novogratz expressed confidence in the future of the cryptocurrency and digital asset space during Trump's presidency. He anticipates significant changes in regulatory agencies, including the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Novogratz foresees the appointment of pro-crypto executives and the end of what he describes as the restrictive leadership of figures like Gary Gensler. With these changes, Novogratz believes the crypto industry will finally gain fair and supportive regulations, paving the way for its growth and advancement both within the US and globally.
Hi guys, hope to see you guys at Dubai Token 2049. We have exclusive 10% off the limited super early bird tickets. Click the link below. This pass will grant you access to speaking sessions, networking app, exhibition hall, daily networking drinks, and also included breakfast, lunch, and coffee breaks, all included the package. I love to see everyone there. Peace out.
The biggest thing is the OCC, the FDIC, the SEC, the regulatory chairs getting direction from a president and a secretary of treasury that says, hey, we want to lead in this industry. Those three positions with someone who's open-minded to crypto and who's pro-crypto changes everything. Allowing State Street and Bank of New York to custody crypto, allowing the banks to hold it on their balance sheet will bring in billions, hundreds of billions of participants into our ecosystem. And all of a sudden, we'll start seeing decentralized systems launched and work. And so this is really a step change shift. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, right? You don't get a new SEC chair in a week. But over the next 1, 2, 3, 6 months, as these new people are put in these positions, I think you're going to see a substantial shift in the energy of this industry.
Who do you think would be the right person to run the SEC under a second Trump administration?
Listen, Hester Pierce has been there, and they call her crypto mom. And I know she's probably throwing her name in the hat. The chief legal officer at Robinhood has been thrown in. I'm not sure the exact person matters as long as they're very open-minded to this industry. And I think there's just no way Trump's not going to pick someone who, listen, right. He's launched his own coin. And so, his family is engaged, he's engaged. And so I just think it's hard to you got to wake up and slap yourself in the face. We have gone 4 years of a very, very difficult regulatory environment, and that's all about to change.
Right. If you were investing more broadly outside of the crypto space, where you think the winners and losers are?
Yeah, listen, I think in the short run, right, emerging market currencies, China are getting hit. You're seeing it today. I'd probably be a buyer of Chinese stocks on any dip because I think the Chinese are going to respond with a big stimulus package. I like the yield curve getting steeper. There's one, I guess, wild hair out there, right? Elon Musk was really the only person on either side during the campaign that talked about America going bankrupt, that talked about this giant deficit that we have that we need to do something about. If that's the case, if they actually take him seriously and do something, and Bess had alluded to it, that would change things, right? That would change things in yield curve. It would change things in gold and silver. I don't think it will happen. I don't think Donald Trump has it in him after having just got this mandate to say, oh, I've got to tighten my belt. I just don't see it. I don't see us, Social Security and Medicare really are the two things you'd have to go out and attack, really unpopular politically. Listen, it will be interesting, but, you've got to, let's see what the House comes at. I think the Republicans will win the House, but it's going to be very close. And so you're not going to have a giant majority in the House. You don't have 60 in the Senate. And guess who gets to decide who gets to spend money, right? Congress, not the president. And so it's always easy to get euphoric about, oh, this is all going to happen. Listen, Social Security, Medicare, and Treasury financing is 57% of the budget. Add the military on, and you're at like 75%. And so you got 25% to play with. It's hard to cut a lot out, right? We have a $6.75 trillion budget. 25% of that, for Elon Musk to cut $2 trillion out of the budget, you'd have to cut 100% of non-Medicare, Social Security, and debt service and military. And so I'm hoping he makes progress. Trust me, if Harrison won, the first tweet I was going to send was, please hire Elon Musk to help on, efficiency in the government. I really think it's an amazingly good idea, and I'm hoping he makes progress. I just think it's a lot harder than you think.
In one of her first statements following the election, Wyoming Senator Cynthia Lummis reaffirmed her commitment to establishing a United States strategic Bitcoin reserve, a plan that could gain traction if Republicans secure majority control of the Senate in 2025. On November 6, Senator Lummis took to the social media platform X, posting a message that read, "We are going to build a strategic Bitcoin reserve." The post has since garnered over 74,000 likes, reflecting widespread enthusiasm for the initiative. In July, Senator Lummis introduced the Bitcoin Act, proposing that the U.S. government acquire 1 million BTC, approximately 5% of the total Bitcoin supply, and hold it for a minimum of 20 years. With Republicans projected to win 3 additional Senate seats in the election, Lummis and her allies may have the support needed to advance the legislation. Her proposal aligns with a concept previously suggested by President-elect Donald Trump, who advocated for the government to retain seized Bitcoin holdings rather than selling them. During his campaign, Trump pledged to end the practice of selling seized Bitcoin on the open market, instead opting to strategically hold the asset as an investment. He also promised to fire SEC Chair Gary Gensler, halt overly restrictive crypto regulations, and champion investors' rights to self-custody their cryptocurrencies. Prominent Bitcoin investor and YouTuber Anthony Pompliano expressed confidence in Trump's ability to deliver on these promises, discussing his views in a recent CNBC interview. Here are some highlights from the discussion.
New all-time high. Satoshi couldn't have written a better script, having it hit a new all-time high on the night of the election. And I think one of the most important things is we have the first Bitcoin president. President Trump ran on a campaign point that he was going to protect Bitcoin. He was going to create a Bitcoin strategic reserve. And I think that you saw Bitcoin's price kind of reflect having somebody who was so pro-Bitcoin win the White House. I think that he's surrounded by enough people who really understand this. People like Bitcoin Magazine CEO David Bailey, many others who have really spent the time with him. And one of the interesting things is whether he believes in Bitcoin or not is almost a moot point. Is what is he going to do? And if he's going to protect it and not be abrasive, that's a win. But if he also creates the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, I think that'll be a huge tailwind, and it'll kick off this global game theory, right? If the United States starts to lean in and welcome Bitcoin and say, hey, this is an asset that we want on our balance sheet, other countries are going to have to respond. And the interesting thing about Bitcoin is that it's been a bottoms-up adoption story. Individuals adopted it first. Now we see corporations and financial institutions. But the central banks are some of the biggest buyers of gold. Gold is up huge. And so if central banks start to buy Bitcoin and put it in their reserves, that would be a massive tailwind for Bitcoin. I think people expect whenever a new president comes in, they're going to, kind of play musical chairs with all the regulatory organizations. What I do think we are on the precipice of is a kind of an economic explosion. Right, we have somebody who's coming in who obviously is very business friendly. He's surrounded by people who are very business friendly. They have some radical ideas in a positive way in terms of what they can do to cut taxes, drive GDP growth, use the country's balance sheet to try to close the deficit gap. And so I don't expect them to be able to do everything that they're saying that they can do, right? When you're on the campaign trail, you say a lot of stuff. But if they can accomplish 50% of it,
so which
it'd be pretty
50%?
powerful.
Like, which are the ones that you think are most important and maybe most likely to get put through?
Well, I think actually, if you look at what the American people did last night, they basically issued a mandate. They said, we want lower inflation, we want affordable housing, we want a secure border, we want a government that doesn't go and engage in more war, and we want to feel like we are safe, secure, and strong at home. And so if you are the president coming in and you can say, how do I get inflation down and under control? If you look at home affordability, start to deregulate and allow people to build more housing in this country. I think there's a difference between skyrocketing inflation and currency debasement, right? And the currency debasement is why Bitcoin goes up. Inflation is usually happens alongside
with it, isn't it?
It's not in the sense that you can have the currency continue to debase and lose purchasing power without having that inflation number spike to 9%. Right, and I think that's what we really saw here was we saw inflation spike over 9% during the Biden administration.
Bitcoin surged to a peak of $76,500 on Bitstamp shortly after 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Wednesday before settling at $75,200. This represents a strong daily gain of over 9% against the US dollar, rising from an earlier low of $73,500. Bitcoin's market capitalization now stands at $1.49 trillion, making up more than 59% of the total crypto market valuation of $2.52 trillion. On a broader timeline, BTC has posted a 4.4% increase over the past week and an impressive 21.6% growth in the last 30 days. Many notable figures in the cryptocurrency space believe this could be the long-awaited rally that propels Bitcoin beyond $100,000 per coin, potentially signaling the start of an altcoin season. Do you agree? Share your thoughts and observations in the comments below. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.